Welcome to Elevate, the masterclass where we dissect the elements of exceptional achievement and lifestyle design with a focus on personal growth and real estate investing. Now, here's your host, Tyler Chesser.
Elevate Nation, welcome back. This is Tyler Chesser. I'm so thankful to have you here, and I am blessed and grateful to be sitting down with Joe Fairless today. If you know Joe Fairless, if you know anything about the real estate industry, if you know anything about apartment syndication, if you know anything about real estate podcasts, you know Joe Fairless because he is a force in this industry and a massive name, a massive, massively awesome individual, to be honest with you. He's a great person. And he's a connector, he's an educator, but he's also an extremely high performer who's done some massive things in this business. So I'm super excited about this conversation today, super excited about this podcast and to bring this to you. But I'm blessed and grateful to have you here, mainly. I really appreciate you listening, you watching, and you showing up, because this is about, this is what it's about investing in your future, right? It's your time, your attention, your effort, your energy, your capital, all of these things, all these resources. You're investing for a greater future. So I just want to congratulate you. I want to thank you for being here. And I want to ask you the question that I always ask. Are you ready to take it to another level? Because that's what we're going to do today. Welcome to Elevate, where we sit down for mind-expanding conversations with influential authorities in real estate, as well as top experts in other industries and disciplines. And this is for leaders, entrepreneurs, real estate investors who have a burning desire, a white-hot burning desire to be extraordinary and for the extraordinary. It is our mission to identify and apply how the best of the best raise the bar personally and professionally to achieve greatness in real estate and beyond. We will distill the mindset, the habits, routines, the systems, the tools, the strategies from an individual like Joe Fairless, the best ever man himself, so that you can elevate to a life without limits yourself, right? It's about identifying and applying those tactics, those mindsets, those high performance approaches towards creating greatness, towards creating the extraordinary. And so this is a masterclass for leaders and those looking to achieve uncommon results and purposeful outcomes through personal growth, through real estate investing, through their mindset, through other ventures, and most importantly and ultimately in their lives. If you appreciate what my team and I are doing here, we would be grateful if you subscribe to the show, if you give us a rating, a review. It helps us, but also it is something that I'm deeply appreciative of. We are bringing the best of the best to you. So if you're enjoying this, please go out there and give us a review, subscribe to the show, because we've got 2 amazing shows per week coming out. And I just want to give you a quick example of a recent review that we got. It was amazing. He says, "This is the podcast I was looking for." This is Place 20 Legal. So shout out to Place 20 Legal, who says, "There are so many real estate podcasts out there, and many of them are amazing. What makes this one special is that Tyler," he actually wrote Taylor, but I'm Tyler, by the way. So thank you for that. He says, "What makes this special is that Tyler found the right balance between personal growth and real estate. It is more about personal growth, but as real estate investors, this is as important as anything else, if not more. Love it." And we love you. So thank you for giving us that review. And, it very, very much helps us as we turn the dial up. Now it's time to ramp up Elevate. We're going to blow this thing out of the water. I'm telling you, it's going to be huge. It already is huge, but we're going to make it massive. And it's from a place of giving. How can we give to you? We want to give more to you. We want to give more value, provide more value. So if you are enjoying the show, share this with a friend, send them a text message real quick with the link. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube or whatever, go ahead and just share that link really quickly. If you've already done that before, thank you. We just ask that the fee that you pay, by the value that we give, is that you just share, help us spread our message a bit further there. Share with a friend. It is 100% free. I want to remind you as well, I've talked about this recently, but we are launching Elevate High Performance Coaching Academy right now. It is absolutely amazing. Coach Trevor McGregor and myself have put together an immersive program, an 8-week program where you can really condense decades into days. This is about elevating your game. This is about creating more freedom. It's about making more money. It's about having the life that you desire, right? It's about designing that life. And it's about stepping into an even higher level of performance. A lot of what we talk about on the show is about being high performers, being elite performers. So if you want to learn more about that, go check out our free workshop or free masterclass at elevatecoachingacademy.com. Again, that's Elevate Coaching Academy. And this is a limited time opportunity to be a part of this. And it's about, being a part of this tribe. It's a small group, but it's also an immersive process to where you get world-class coaching from Coach Trevor McGregor and myself. And let me just tell you, we've been working on this for years, actually 2 years to be specific. And I can tell you that it's a game changer. It's a life changer. And we'd be honored to have the opportunity to work with you directly. So go to elevatecoachingacademy.com and we'll look forward to seeing you there. And with all this said, let's dive into a phenomenal conversation today with Mr. Joe Fairless, who is the co-founder of Ashcroft Capital, which has over $900 million of assets under management. In addition to his work with Ashcroft Capital, Joe created the podcast, The Best Real Estate Investing Advice Ever Show, which is the longest running daily real estate podcast in the world. Joe is also the proud member of the Texas Tech Alumni Advisor Board for the College of Media and Communications, as well as being recognized as an outstanding alumni at the Texas Tech University, where he is a former adjunct professor. My goodness, I can't talk. Some of these days it happens, right? Come on, tongue twisted, but we'll get through it here, guys. Joe is currently a Junior Achievement Board member and a volunteer for the Cincinnati chapter and has been recognized by the Junior Achievement's Free Enterprise Society. I love Junior Achievement. I was actually reflecting on that recently. It was one of the first ways that I was able to learn about business as a kid. I remember Junior Achievement, and I've been a teacher myself a few times. So shout out to Joe for being a Junior Achievement Board member and, being a part of the Junior Achievement Free Enterprise Society and being recognized by them. Joe volunteers at the Crossroads Hospice, and in 2018, he was recognized as Multi-Family Investor of the Year by Think Realty magazine. The guy's a force. He's a force for good. He's a force in this business, and he is an absolute master. So buckle up and get your notebooks ready. Get your iPhone notepad ready, whatever you need, because you're going to need to distill some wisdom of greatness from Mr. Joe Fairless. So with all that said, I want to invite you to enjoy this amazing conversation with the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Fairless. Joe, my friend, welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to our conversation.
Likewise. No, I always appreciate our conversations, and I appreciate, with somebody who has so much going on, you still remember to ask questions about, hey, what's going on with you? Because we had lunch a couple months ago, and you just asked a follow-up question that I really appreciated, but I just wanted to comment on that. But tell me,
because I was genuinely curious. Right. Life's all about relationships, and if you're not enjoying the people you're around and you interact with, then what's the point? Right. In my opinion. And I know that you're working on acquiring large properties, and that's what we were talking about last time. And I was just really curious about your update. So thank you for sharing. And looking forward to talking more.
Absolutely. Well, the genuine curiosity, I think, is the key there, right? It's not fake, right? You can feel it. And I think that's actually one of the first conversations you and I had was 3-4 years ago. It was about, we were talking about networking and how we didn't like the word, right? It was like, ugh, but it's about relationship building. It's about being genuine. And that's something that you really strike me as. But tell me, and the listeners, a little bit, who is Joe Fairless, the man, like behind the bio, behind the public image, behind the books and podcasts and all that stuff? Like, who are you truly to the core?
I'm someone who, I'm someone who I'm proud to be, and I'm proud of who I am when no one's looking. That's my approach. My very first deal, a large apartment deal, lost money, and I paid back all of my investors plus 14% annualized return out of my own pocket. I didn't have it at the time, but I told them on 12 separate calls, which was very challenging to do, to have 12 separate calls with 12 separate investors saying, we lost money on this deal, but I'm going to pay you back every month. I don't know how much I'm going to pay you every month, but I'm going to pay you as much as I can every month. I'm going to do it until I pay you back plus 14% annualized return. And the key is, you asked who I am. I didn't do it because of who they are. I didn't do it because I thought it could help with the business later. I did it because I wanted to be proud of who I am. And that's, to me, is the most important part of of I mean of life, is to be proud of who you are, because ultimately things start with you, and then you're around yourself more than anyone else. So you got to be
Right.
happy with who you are. I was on a podcast interview, and the guest said, or the host said, "Well, that was great for long-term business." I was like, it didn't matter. It was just about you know um, being proud of who I am. Matthew McConaughey has a commencement address. Have you heard that one at
I
University of
have.
Texas? Yeah,
It's so
he
good.
talks about don't leave crumbs. That's one of his lessons. Don't leave crumbs. And you can listen to it if you have, I know, but if others who are listening to this haven't listened to it, I highly recommend it. And you can listen to his story about that lesson. But basically, when you're going throughout life in this rather small world that we live in, if you're looking over your shoulder because you're concerned about someone who you slighted in the past is going to come across you in the future, man, that's no way to live life. You got to live life just
Right.
being proud of who you are, how you interact, how you carry yourself. And the beautiful thing about life and human beings is uh, we all mess up, we all make mistakes, and people can empathize with you whenever you do mess up, as long as you admit it and you course correct as best as possible. And I think that's something else. You said who I am. Who am I? I mean, I'm someone who, I make mistakes, but I'm going to do it in a way that I'm going to resolve it in a way that I'm proud of, and that's who I am.
Yeah, and it really strikes me that it's really all about being a person of character, right? It's a
Hmm.
person that you can count on yourself. Other people can count on you because you do what you say you're going to do, and you own up to your mistakes. But tell me, one other thing that really strikes me about you is that you have a commitment to excellence, not only within your business, but also, yourself, investing in
Hmm.
yourself. So tell me, how has your commitment to personal excellence really kind of bled over into everything else that you do?
Well, I'm a huge personal development student. Um, I could do better currently because I, I haven't been doing it, meaning I haven't been watching the YouTube videos as much as I used to, but I still watch YouTube videos on personal development. So Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, those individuals. So I it starts with the individual. So in this case, that's me, the individual, and the one of the quotes that I like that Jim Rohn talks about is work harder on yourself than you do your job. And that's my approach. I know that if I work harder on myself, if I improve personally, and focus more on that than anything else, then everything else is going to take care of itself, assuming that I have the right strategies and I'm treating people the right way along the way.
So, in terms of working on yourself harder than you do on your job, give us a little look behind the curtain there. I mean, how are you doing that? And obviously, every day is a different day and it's not all, the same. But I mean, in general, how are you investing in yourself now and working on yourself harder than you are on your business and such?
A couple specific ways. So today is Wednesday. Yes, today's Wednesday. 2 days ago, I participated in a half day consulting session where I hired a consultant, and she worked with me on um, kind of a mini Tony Robbins type of exercise slash like seminar. If for anyone who's attended Unleash the Power Within, or I haven't done Date with Destiny, but
Me neither.
yeah, I will be doing it. But it was kind of like that where um, the ultimate business goal of that was to identify where I take my best ever brand, and how to how to approach building that business. But there's a lot of other things that were helpful. I wrote my own obituary, which
Wow.
I've done before, but I refreshed it this time. And I identified the 3 top values that that drive me, and how to use those values as a filter in which I put everything through in order to make decisions. And so that was just 2 days ago. I paid a consultant. And how I found her was I was interviewing her on my podcast, and I thought, man, I really like what she's having to say. I talked to her right after the interview. I said, I'd love to be one of your clients. And then, so we did a session. And that's one consultant, but I also have 2 other ones that I'm working with. The other one is 12-hour work week. I've completed a program, or I'm about to complete a program with them, and the other is Tony Robbins, Trevor McGregor, who used to be with Tony Robbins, but now he's on his own, and he's been my life coach, business coach for, I don't know, 7-8 years, something like that. And I know we both know Trevor really well. So it's surrounding myself with people who have expertise in certain areas, and are focused on helping me get the results and improving. And I think it's important. To do 2 things in that dynamic. One is to hold on to some people very long term, so that you continue to build relationships with them. Like, for example, Trevor McGregor, where we've been working together for 7-8 years. And then in addition to that, though, as you come across other individuals who have specific skill sets that could help you hone your skill sets, then and then reach out to them, and then work with them, and then learn those skills, and then move on. And I think it's important to have both of those dynamics, both the long term, and then also kind of a buffet, if you will, of different things to choose from, and then you pick it and you apply it. So that's one, hiring people. But the other, besides hiring people to help me out, is just a commitment to learning through books. That's one thing I do fairly frequently. One thing I learned is, instead of having a goal of reading a book every so often, whether it's every 2 weeks or a month, I simply have a goal of reading a paragraph a day. It's so much easier. It builds momentum. I read a paragraph, and then usually it snowballs into pages, and sometimes chapters. Sometimes it's just, man, that's the longest paragraph ever. I just want that paragraph to be over because I want to go do something else. But at least I'm building momentum. And also from a physical side, health wise, that's significantly improved just from a physical fitness standpoint for me personally. Yeah, I finally figured out a plan that works for me. I tried all sorts of things, tried a Buddhist diet, tried different things, juice cleanses and stuff. But ultimately I figured out the way that my body responds, and the way that I can do it that's sustainable, where I get exercise, I work out, and then I also am fit. And I lost 10. Yeah, from this time last year, definitely lost 10 pounds. So I'm and I don't need to lose really much more, maybe like 3-4 more pounds. But I did have 10 more pounds than I should have, and now it's gone. And now I have a sustainable way of keeping it gone.
Hey guys, just a quick word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back to the show. This episode of Elevate is brought to you by CF Capital, and you know how much I love real estate and how it can be a vehicle towards creating any outcome that you want in your life, which is really why we created CF Capital. It's a real estate investment firm that focuses on acquiring and operating multifamily assets that provide stable cash flow, capital appreciation, and a margin of safety for our investors, for our partners, and for the people that we serve. Our team leverages its expertise in acquisitions and management to provide investors like you with superior risk-adjusted returns while placing a premium on preserving capital. Our mission is to provide property investment and asset management solutions to help investors maximize their returns by investing in high-value multifamily communities. Our philosophy is that we can elevate communities together through this process. And I want to invite you to go check out cfcapllc.com because we have a free ebook that's called The Bottom Line, the 10 ways to increase cash flow in an apartment complex. And I want to tell you that this is a value packed ebook. So I want to invite you to go check that out right now at cfcapllc.com. I think you're going to get a ton of value just from reading this, whether you apply it to your own business or whether you educate yourself further on what it would look like if you invested with CF Capital. So go check that out at cfcapllc.com. Again, that's cfcapllc.com, and enjoy the rest of the show. Man, there's so much good stuff there, and I appreciate that. You know, when we met for lunch, you got a salad, man. You are practicing what you preach, and I can tell you that you have the commitment for health. But you know, all of these things kind of looking back, and obviously, I love the way you describe it. It's like in some ways, you know, you're surrounding yourself with experts who can give you specific skills and, you know, takeaways. And it's like, all right, let's condense, you know, your expertise into a half day or a full day, or maybe it's even a week. You talked about Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. I mean, talk about a transformative experience, but then you also think about, you know, investing in long-term relationships and continuing to compound that sort of growth. I think that's really powerful. Something else that really strikes me about you is that you always go the extra mile. Like when I read your book, the apartment syndication book, it was truly, you know, value packed across the board. And that's what you do in everything that you do. So could you talk a little bit about sort of going the extra mile and why that's important to you and how you've honed in that as a habit?
Yeah, sure. And just to put a closing note on the consulting thing, paying for consultants or mentors, and then I'll address that other question about going the extra mile. So some people might think, oh, I don't want to pay for a consultant or a mentor. I can find someone who will help me out and they'll take me under their wing. That might be true, but here's what ultimately happens from my experience. I guess with any general statement, there's always exceptions, but usually this happens. When you have someone who you're not compensating, then there's a lot of giving on their end, but there's not any taking. And they certainly might get fulfillment from helping you out, but it's not as, they're not as vested into your success, and they're not as available as you might need them to be in order to really get you the results you need. And from my experience, paying consultants and mentors does get you that, because then, hey, you've given them compensation. So now there is reciprocity, clearly, because now they give you in return their expertise, and you as an individual don't feel bad about them spending time with you because, hey, you compensated them accordingly. And so that's just my thought on paying mentors and consultants. And some people might not be in a position to pay for mentors and consultants. And in that case, okay, you do what you need to do to get the experience. Then eventually you find a way to get consultants and mentors to take you to another level. As far as going above and beyond, I mean, the beauty of business is that a lot of people are lazy, and by simply doing what you say you're going to do and following through with what you said you would do, you're going to stand out. It's ridiculous how that's the case, but that's just the world we live in. We live in an instant gratification culture, and some people, if they don't get something instantly, then they're just going to disappear. And okay, well, that's a good thing for those of us who do what we say we're going to do and follow up and follow through. But then when you take it to the next level and you do a little bit extra, then you really stand out. And I'll give you a specific example. For the last at least 6 months, so at least 180 days, for the last 180 days, we have been doing, we meaning my team and I, have been doing something called the Thoughtful Project. And it's something I came up with because I know the importance of relationships, as we talked about at the beginning, and a long-term, just staying in touch long-term in meaningful ways. And so what the Thoughtful Project is my team will, and I will, but mostly my team, will identify someone every day, 5 days a week. So Monday through Friday, we'll identify someone who has accomplished something or some major event has happened in their life. Maybe they got a new job as seen on LinkedIn. Maybe they just started a podcast as seen on Facebook. Maybe, I got a text message from a friend that said, "Oh, we had a baby." Some event in their life has happened, and my assistant then comes up with a unique gift for that individual, and we proactively mail out to that individual. It could be a card that I write, or I will give the copy for my assistant to write, or it could be just some gift that is mailed out. But we've done that for 180 days minus the weekends, however many days that is, at least this year. And that's going above and beyond and doing a little bit extra or a lot extra, depending on how you classify it. And it's just playing the long game, and also, just giving things to people when they don't expect it. I don't personally give out or send holiday cards. I don't, because they're expected. When you receive a holiday card, it gets mixed in with all the other noise of the holiday season. And it's great. That's cool. I'm not knocking them, by the way. I'm just saying I don't do it, and here's why I don't do it. Instead, what I'll do is I'll do something like the Thoughtful Project, where something that a major milestone in someone's life has happened, and we'll send something proactively to that person without them expecting it. Because if you have two gifts, one is expected and one is unexpected, and then they're of similar quality, the unexpected gift is going to be valued much greater than the expected gift.
Okay, I got to give you a shout out because you did this to me. Literally this summer, I got married and I get a gift from the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Fairless. And I'm like, all right, this is thoughtful. This stood out because I did not expect that. While we are friends and we're getting to become better and better friends as time passes, I didn't expect it. And so that was a great example of you guys, you and your team and everybody going above and beyond. So what an opportunity for seeds to be planted in the minds of all the listeners here is, what can you do to be unexpected or do things that are unexpected for other people, right? And not, you didn't do that because I was going to come and give you something else. You were just investing in the long game, right? Together. So I love that. That's awesome.
Yep.
Tell me, Joe, one thing I want to ask you is what would you tell your younger self about scaling a business? Because obviously from, if you look back over the past decade or so, you've gone from, one single family home to a massive portfolio and a great team and a great brand and all these things. But, is there anything that you'd point to in terms of what you would tell your younger self about that process?
Yeah, I would say there's a 3-step process that you don't know now, but your older self does know. And so here's the process that you should know, and this will save you a lot of time and money. First, identify all the skill sets that are required in order to be successful in the business. Second, look in the mirror and know what skill sets of those do you have and what skills do you not have. And then third, for the ones you do not have, go find a partner, go find a contractor, go find a team member, whatever's makes sense for that scenario, and have them do those things. Because if you try to do most or all of the things that are required to be successful in the business, and you only have a handful of those skills that are required, you're going to fall flat on your face.
So it's the art of extraordinary team building, essentially, is what you would say.
Yeah, it is. But in order to build a team, you have to know yourself. You have to know what in order to build a team, first you have to know what's required from the overall team. So what skill sets are needed, and then in order to do that, you need to know. In order to find the right people, you need to know what you're good at and what you're not good at. And it's pretty simple. Just from my experience, it's just asking myself, what do I enjoy doing in this business, and what don't I enjoy doing in this business? And if you don't enjoy doing something, or if I don't enjoy doing something, generally I'm not that good at it because I don't put a lot of time towards it. I don't study it recreationally. But if I'm doing things recreationally, like if I'm reading books on psychology, which I enjoy psychology. I enjoy experiments where psychologists and sociologists are talking about different studies. I love that stuff. I love it, love it, love it.
Oh, I eat it up. I love it.
Yeah,
too.
me too. So I mean that's my wheelhouse. But other aspects of the business are not. And doesn't mean I'm bad at it. Some of it I'm bad at it, but if I'm not excellent at it, then I should not be anywhere near being the one leading the charge, because that's not going to set up the overall business for success.
Outside of the excellence in those things that other people may enjoy that you don't, are there any other top traits that you really look for that really kind of is similar across the board in terms of your team that you're really looking for as you continue to grow as well?
Resourcefulness, because especially right now, most of the team works remote. And if you're not a person who will take initiative, get things done, ask questions along the way as necessary, but if you're not resourceful, then you're not going to be a team member for very long.
Hey guys, I just wanted to take a brief time out from this show, this incredibly mind-expanding discussion, to speak to the high achievers, the high performers. I wanted to speak to those who have a burning desire to go to the next level and beyond. First of all, I hear you and I see you. When I got started as a real estate entrepreneur fresh out of my W-2 corporate job, I was excited and jubilant to create and design my future. At the same time, my business and life was filled with confusion, filled with fear, doubt, uncertainty, and to be honest with you, sometimes even sleepless nights and hopelessness, even while experiencing what many would have considered substantial success. Ultimately, I mustered up the courage to hire one of the world's top high-performance business coaches to work directly with me on creating strategies, systems, and profound shifts towards accelerating my multifaceted performance and to become an industry leader. After years of investing significant resources into myself and in my business through this process, I am now paying it forward as a high-performance coach to those who feel called to elevate to the extraordinary. Wherever you are right now, you know deep down that you have it within you to be great. If you're someone who's seriously looking to elevate your business, your real estate portfolio, your cash flow, your deal flow, your network, your net worth, your lifestyle, and ultimately your life right now and ongoing for the rest of your life, I have a message for you. Because if that's you, then I invite you to visit coachwithtyler.com. I have limited coaching spots available to guide people like you who want to substantially close the gap from where you are to where you want to be. These are first come, first serve, and demand high touch, one-to-one focus from me directly to you. And this is not for everyone. This is only for those who are decisive, committed, and willing to do whatever it takes. It's only for those willing to play full out and invest time, energy, and resources into themselves to achieve greatness in real estate investing and beyond, which is what we're all about on this podcast. This is for those defiantly inspired for transforming as an empowered, limitless, and unstoppable human being in full control of their and their business's future. If that is you, I invite you to visit coachwithtyler.com. Again, that's coachwithtyler.com, where you can apply for this life-changing opportunity. We will then schedule a discovery session where we will directly discuss what's working, not working, and how we can work together to accelerate your future. With that said, enjoy the rest of the show. I love that. And it's never a matter of resourcefulness. I'm sorry, it's never a matter of resources. It's right. Always a matter of resourcefulness. So yeah, what a powerful trait to be looking for in all of our teams. So thank you for that. Joe, I want to be super respectful of your time. I know your time is valuable and limited, but I want to dive into our rare air questionnaire, rapid fire section. And it's all about growing. It's all about investing in yourself. It's all about identifying, hey, what do I enjoy? What do I not? And what can I be excellent in? And what can I outsource but it's also about, continuing to elevate. So tell me a little bit about, being now a prolific author yourself and someone who, reads, perhaps maybe it's a paragraph one day, maybe it's a chapter the next, but I know that you always continue to pour into yourself in terms of your own learning. Are there 2 or 3 books that you've read over the past 3 years, 3, 4 years that have been really impactful for you?
Yes. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. That's just a fun book. What an author, what a storyteller, what a historian. Highly recommend 48 Laws of Power. I'm also currently reading Mastery. Not as engaging of a book as 48 Laws of Power, same author, but it's still interesting and worth the read. Just takes a little bit longer to get through than 48 Laws of Power, from my opinion. So that's one. Another book, and I don't know. There's a lot of them. I honestly like James Patterson books. I really like James Patterson books too, because they help me wind down for the night, and that definitely has a business correlation because I'm able to wind down with a book versus iPad or something else, and it helps me sleep better.
And those are fiction, right? Fiction books?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We were talking to Dave
wait,
Asprey.
Yeah, fiction. Yep.
We were talking to Dave Asprey on the podcast, and he really encouraged Elevate Nation to be reading more fiction. So I'm glad to hear that, especially
Tim Ferriss
with someone like yourself.
too.
Yeah.
Tim Ferriss talked about that on one of his podcasts a while back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's huge. And that's something that I'm stepping into more. It's uncomfortable, but I think it's important to step into that discomfort. So, and embrace that. So thank you for that. Aside from our discussion so far, what's the biggest way that you elevate your life on a daily basis, Joe?
Oh, that's going to be with family, with my wife and my daughter, spending time with them regularly, and spending time with her side of the family. My side of the family does not live in Cincinnati where we live, but her side of the family does. So spending time with her side of the family and just continuing to get to know them more and more. It's been, over 5 years, but still, it's just always get to know more and more. And I think, I did that obituary exercise this past Monday, and to me, it's about spending time with those who you love and love you and are with you through thick and thin.
Yeah, if we had more time, I definitely want to go through that obituary exercise. It sounds super interesting. Maybe that'll be part 2 of our conversation. But tell me, what's the biggest way that you elevate others around you? Obviously, you talk about, doing the unexpected. I mean, is there anything else that you'd point to?
Yeah, I'd say, we've got Best Ever Causes. It's something that my wife and I do. It's bestevercauses.com. We've highlighted over, I think, 35 causes. So one per month. So over 35 months in a row, approximately. I don't have the exact number in front of me, that we promote a nonprofit and we donate our money to that nonprofit. And those nonprofits are submitted to us from our community. So anyone listening in this community, if you have a nonprofit that you would like to get more exposure for, and Colleen and I will donate money to, then and if you want it to be an option for us to choose from, then you can email info@joefairless.com and check out bestevercauses.com, and you'll see the type of causes that have been submitted to us and that we've chosen.
That's awesome, man. And I love that you're giving back and not just taking. And obviously you've given us so much of your valuable time and wisdom today. So thank you so much for that. But is there any parting thoughts or words of wisdom that you share with Elevate Nation today before we head out?
Thank you for this conversation. I enjoyed it very much. And my hope is that Elevate Nation got some value out of it as well.
I have no doubt about it. And Joe, I just want to thank you again. And we'll send you on your way, my friend. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks a lot. Enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. What a conversation with the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Fairless. Wow. We could have gone, probably 10 times longer there. I know that, not only is he someone that many people admire in the business, many people look up to, including myself. but he's just the real deal. He's a great guy. And, obviously he's learned so much through his journey. And I think there's so many valuable nuggets of wisdom that we uncovered today. I mean, my goodness, my list is it's very strong here in terms of my notes that I've taken. So I hope that you had taken the opportunity to pause and take notes. But if you didn't, go back and re-listen to this, because there are absolutely actionable takeaways that you can apply immediately, which is so exciting and so powerful. I want to tell you how you can learn more about Joe. Just go to joefairless.com. Of course, we'll put links in the show notes of how you can contact him on social media, how you can learn more about, the best ever brand and everything that he's got going on in his podcast, best in real estate investing advice ever is available everywhere. So go check that out. Also, yours truly was a guest at one point. So go check out that episode. See if you want to learn more about me and my interaction with Joe and his team. But I highly encourage you to re-listen to this show because, like we always say, is repetition is the mother of all skill. And you want to talk about, some opportunities for you to distill wisdom and apply that and improve your skills. That's the opportunity of today's show. And I want to encourage you as well. I want to remind you to share this with a friend. And, if you want to sit in front of someone and say, hey, look, here were the things that I learned from this episode. If you don't want to take the time to listen to it, no big deal. Let me just share with you what I learned and what I'm applying to my life, to my business, to my mindset, to, the way that I approach my daily life. It's so powerful to do that because it anchors in, our true own understanding, right? When we share something, when we teach something, that's when we learn the most. And so I want to encourage you to do that. And I also mostly want to encourage you to take massive, massive action. And I want to tell you, we just came up with a new tagline, and it is about leading, creating, and elevating, right? Lead, create, elevate. So I want to encourage you to embody those words, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Elevate. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and pay it forward by sharing with a friend. Most importantly, take this opportunity to elevate your results by taking immediate action on what you learned. For more, visit elevatepod.com.